We now have in our presence the CECM member in charge of transport and also the chief officer in charge of transport and infrastructure. Engineer Driss and Chief Officer David, this is a committee on general oversight. And it is a committee established pursuant to Standing Order 187A. And you may recall that on 7th March 2024, the CECM member had appeared before this committee when the same was adjourned to today. We had already started the meeting. We have adopted the agenda of the meeting to be as it were on 7th March 2024 because at your request, Driss, you had sought for some time for you to be able to respond to the issues as sought by the honorable members. Honorable members, you may recall that there are a number of statements that were sought by the honorable member from Olesos Ward. I had tasked the committee in charge of transport and infrastructure to file a response to the County Assembly of Nandi. The honorable member seated here with me, Gideon, partly responded to those issues as received from the department, and thereafter he absolved himself by persuading the chair then to have the CECM member in charge of transport appear before the Committee of General Oversight so that he could be able to respond to those particular statements. And it is on that particular strength that we invited the CECM member in charge of transport and infrastructure to appear before the General Oversight Committee on 7th March, where he sought for some time to be able to respond to that. Honorable members, you may further recall that on that particular day, there were a number of documentations that, were not available, and the CECM member had also sought the leave of the House to file those documents. I want to confirm to this House that the CECM member complied with the directions and the recommendations of the committee by ensuring that he filed those documents on 13th March 2024. You confirm that you have those responses? Honorable members, do you confirm that you're in receipt of those documents? And
but not complete, Honorable Chair.
No.
Not complete.
Honorable Martin Douglas, as to the content, we are not yet there. For us, it is just to confirm whether you are in receipt of those particular documents as received on 13th March 2024. Well, so there we are. Engineer Driss, you can just confirm to the House the documents that you filed.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Shangu has indicated that the document is not complete.
Honorable Chelule, kindly have your seat. I had invited the CECM member just to confirm the documents that he filed. As to the contents of those documents, we still have time to look into those issues.
Chair, I confirm.
Pardon? Have your mic on, huh? Yeah.
I confirm that I really did file the response.
Yes, and
Bwana Mwenyekiti, nadhani swali ulilouliza ni tofauti. Point of order. Could you
Yes,
answer the question?
Honorable Isaiah Minor.
The question you asked, Honorable Chair, is what documents did he file? Could he just indicate what he filed?
Engineer Driss, could you respond to that?
Thank you, Chair. I filed the document concerning the total number of kilometers, that is the total number of county roads, and attached is the road register. Number 2, strategies. I did also respond on that. Number 3, the number of roads per ward.
You filed responses with regard to the statement sought by Honorable Isaiah Minor on 1st August 2023.
Yes, Chair, I did.
Well, honorable members, I think the floor is now open. The CCM member has confirmed that he has responded to those issues. You have the responses in the documents applied. You can now be able to, we can have an engagement. Honorable Isaiah Minor.
I cannot see, Honorable Chair, the CR12. Not only the CR12, if you look at the question, Honorable CEC, you would find that the question was, first of all, on the roads, you're supposed to give us the length and then proceed to give the current status, which you have not done. Then you are supposed to give the work tendered, the BQs, and the scope of work. I have not seen that. The number of kilometers done using county machinery, yes, it is shown there, summarized per word, it's shown, but it doesn't show the amounts, the cost, the number, including the scope of work. So there is a discrepancy in as far as the report is concerned, vis-a-vis these details that I asked.
Honorable Minor, could you allow me please to guide this meeting, because we have 6 issues to be dispensed with. And the first issue is on the total number of county roads per ward, indicating the names, the length, and the current status. Could we get, some guidance from the CCM member in response to that particular question, so that, we can have the sequential move? Yeah. Yes, on the first aspect, just guide us on that.
Thank you, Chair. And concerning the number of county roads, length and their status, we did respond on that, because we have the current road register. And Chair, allow me also on the issue of status. We have a completed process of the ongoing risks, which actually the ministry did seek a service from a consultant. And once the risks are out, and we have been promised that the whole document, we have received an information from the ministry, that is the Kenya Roads Board, concerning the status of all the roads, because it is done through consultancy, and it will inform us of all the details. That is why I submitted a specific road register indicating the number of kilometers per ward, and even mentioning if it is a national trunk road or a county road. So I did that, but for the full details on the issues of status, we will get that one next week once we get an updated ARIX, and normally it is done through a consultancy service by the Kenya Roads Board. So once that one is out, we'll also submit the same to to this Honorable House for the members to interrogate the document.
Thank you so much, Honorable Driss. Members, I know all of us have this particular document, and I believe the CCM member is drawing our attention to pages. Though the same is not paginated, but I want to assume that it is from pages 6. Is that so, Engineer Driss? Is this the... You could guide them on the pages so that...
Are you giving that one, Chair?
Yes,
from
I
that
think, honorable members, there is a page that, from that particular page onward, those are the...
Starting from the Emit Chemutai Road, Chemutia Road.
Chair,
That is...
I would request, why can't we just page it?
Paginate.
Yeah, we can paginate right now so that when we are referring to it, it becomes easier.
It's okay, yeah? It's okay, and I think, Engineer Driss, probably next time when you're making responses to this house, you can have the documents paginated for ease of reference, because in a number of them, they are not paginated, and that is the reason the members are finding it difficult to make reference. Yeah, probably next time you can be able to paginate.
Not that, Chair.
Yeah.
Not that.
And I think for the purposes of these proceedings, we can have this document listed as document number 1, because we have a number of documents that we'll be making reference to. So we can have these indicated, or rather, marked as document number 1, as filed by the CCM member. So, honorable members, that is the response from the CCM member in charge of transport. Any concerns? Is it satisfactory? Honorable Minor.
Honorable Chair, thank you very much for the opportunity. I must thank the CCM for trying to give us a list. I must say he has tried. However, I should want to note to highlight the following issues. First of all, the CCM, unfortunately, he chose to be very lazy. And I take it that probably with the chief officer as well and the other officers, because what he did was to just download the registrar and then put it here. I would have expected that as a Waziri of Nandi, he would have gone the extra mile to desegregate this into the wards, which he did not do. Now, he has also indicated that there is a consultant. I do not know whether he is saying Nandi County has hired a consultant to check on the status of roads in Nandi, or does he concern himself with the status of the roads in the county? So he's saying let's wait for the County Roads Board, which is a national government body, to come and give us the status of roads in Nandi. I find that very disturbing, Honorable Chair, because I should want to imagine that the CEC knows, or at least tries to find out, how the roads are in Olesos and the other 30 wards. Now, so for him to come and say, Maybe he could answer that. Could he tell us why he does not have the status of the county roads? I'm particularly interested in does he know the roads in Lesotho and how they are? This is the question.
The CECM member, you've noted that in the statement, it was clearly indicated the total number of county roads per ward, indicating the names. And the register as provided does not specify the ward and probably its status. Could you respond to that?
Thank you, Chair. Allow me to respond on what was raised by the Honorable Member. Road network in the entire country is an asset in itself. And that is why, through the ministry, that is the National Government Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure, it is their duty. And that is why we have Kenya Roads Board as one of the only body that is mandated in terms of gazettement, reclassification, and even giving RX and RICs for the entire country. So our engineer or the technical team have been trained.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, or not point of order.
This is RX, and could he clarify what that does mean? RX and RICs.
RX, that is RICs is Road Inventory Conditional Survey, which it gives a full survey of the condition, state condition of each and every section of a road for the entire country. And this is a process that is always ongoing. It is not a periodic thing that it is done on specific time, but it is updated on each and every quarterly and quarterly period. And it is a systematic or online system that is fed by our engineers. So, and for this one actually informs. This informs or gives the basis for the country to reclassify the roads. And normally for this, it entails, that is the width of the road, the kilometers, even the carriage.
Point
the
of
carriage.
inquiry, Mr.
Yes, Honorable Martin Douglas.
With utmost respect, Mr. Speaker, I think we are going too far. That is to me. Because in the first case, Mr. Speaker, what necessitated today's meeting? To the best of my knowledge, is because we have had reports from the Auditor General telling us about what was used last financial year. You see? And that is why we are trying to see whether actually are we on the right track? You see?
Honorable Martin Douglas, I want to confirm that we are on the right track because the CECM member was supposed to respond to the statement as sought by this county assembly on 1st August 2023, and he was now responding to the first issue, the total number of county roads per ward, indicating the names. But then, Waziri, you've done some work by providing this assembly with the register. The question was, why was it not possible for you to for lack of a better term, yes, into ward, yeah, to classify them into ward level, because that is what is pending.
Maybe a further question, Honorable Chair. So what is the total number of roads in Lesotho? I mean, the length in Lesotho?
I was still responding to what the honorable member raised. And in the first question, the total number of county roads, names, length, and the current status. Yes. And that is why, if you maybe give me like can you disintegrate this to word? We will, like what we have provided here, we will give on those specific roads that these are for specific word, but we have also, also not that, honorable members, that we have an ongoing issues of geomapping. And part of what we are doing currently is that, and even if you remember the other time that you met with a consultant in Bomain, that through the Ministry of Lands itself, it will provide us detailed information, because one, for us to disintegrate this, we will do it. But of course, what we did is we submitted the road register of...
Engineer Dries, I'm sorry to interrupt this, but you know, the question is very specific, that you are asked to provide the county roads per ward, indicating the names. But then what you've done is to provide the Nandi County register without disintegrating them into wards. That is the question.
Chair,
yes.
Allow me. We have provided the county roads with the names. That is why in the first road we have Emit Chemutia Road 1. It will give you that under the first column, the class itself, that is a national road. Reserve, that is a road reserve is 9 meters. The type of carriage is a single carriage. The total number of kilometers is 3.9. So we have provided that information, but only what we could request is that if, like what the honorable member stated, is on the issue of now disintegrating. We will do it and submit to this honorable house.
And yes. That is the reason I'm asking you this question, because it is not that this question, or rather you learning about this question for the first time today. In the course of seeking that statement, you are categorically asked to indicate the names as per the word.
Honorable Speaker, like what I have stated, what we are providing is a standard document, and it is a road register for Nandi County. And under that, if we say that this is the county roads, what we have provided under the road register, this is a total number of county roads in Nandi. Number 2, the names. The names are here. Number 3, the length. The length is here. Only what I haven't provided is on the status, and that is what I have requested, that within the next 1 week, we will be able to submit the full details of the RICS, which indicates the specific status of all the roads for the entire country, not even inclusive Nandi, but for the entire country. So for this one, a consultant was here with us for a period of almost 8 months, updating. And currently, we have one representative from the consultant itself who is liaising with our technical people in terms of us updating this information that is required at the ministry.
Yes, Honorable.
Allow me to pose this question to the CEC member for roads. There is a road you have indicated here.
Honorable Chelule, just for proper guidance of the proceedings of this House, I wanted you to restrict yourself to the item number 1 so that we can move sequentially, kindly.
So,
if it is something that will come later, you can be able to raise it later.
thank you.
So, Honorable Chair, I think the CCM confirms that he didn't do what we asked him to do. He is trying to, he could just probably say he didn't do it. And I have asked him a further question. What is the length of county roads in Olesos? Could he tell me?
Honorable Minor, what I can give specifically, Chair, allow me to give this, that the total number of network as by the upcoming road register, because that is the information that I have for the entire Nandi County. It is 4,397. That is the total number of road network. And for this, we have And that is why always, that is why even if you check keenly, we have a new, to mean that is a new road. For this one,
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Chair, could he answer the question?
Allow me.
The question I asked, what is the total number of kilometers in Olesos? That's all I've asked.
And that is why
do you know it?
And that is why I'm giving this specifically, Honorable Minor.
No, the question is, do you know it?
Kindly just answer through the chair. Just indicate that this is the number of kilometers that we have in LSS ward, or you don't have the details, so that we can be able to move.
Chair, I have the details for the entire county, not for specific wards. And if the honorable member would want us to respond to that, we will give him, including a detail by detail information for the source ward specifically.
Honorable Tarbe.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I'm kind of confused because the CC is telling us he can even give us the information for the entire country, but I know the CC and the CO are aware of why we are having this county forum, Mr. Chair. When he asked for the status, because I'm kind of shocked, Mr. Chair, because works are being done. We allocate resources for county roads. So if the CC cannot know the status maybe of particular roads being done, we have employees working in those, we have operators doing the same roads from the county government. Why are we waiting for a report from the national government to assess our roads, tell us that this county road may be being done in Kaptumo, like Kipkenya, Jemoru Road? Oh, I find it hard why we should hire a professional from Nairobi to come and maybe tell us that a particular road has been done to such level, such resources has been used. Yeah, I think that's not fair. I believe the department should have measures, because if resources are being used, the auditor report is telling us we have used, I think, 112% of the resources. I think that should be accounted here. So we should not be told that we are waiting for an expert from Nairobi who is doing an assessment of the county roads in Nandi for us to get a report of the same. I think that's taking the committee for granted, Chair. We need serious answers. The question why we were asking for the status and particular county, maybe the roads, because as we speak, Chair, some of the roads have been donated to Kera. So we are not asking the department to give us those roads which are done by Kera. We are not asking them to give us roads being done by the national, Kena and the rest. We are asking those that are being done by the county, which we budgeted in this honorable house, they know the length. And that's a simple question. We are asking the status of those roads. So being told we are waiting for an expert, maybe I find it hard, Chair.
Chair, kindly
yes.
allow me to respond to that. And for this information, we provided all. The number of kilometers that we did, it is there. It is only that for the first question, you ask about a specific item. That is why I was responding to the specific question number 1. And for the status, we have responded on the number of kilometers that we have covered, including even stating that financial year, the length of the Maram section within that road. We have done it, Honorable Chair.
You heard the CCM member. Honorable members, I want us to proceed. And before we proceed, you'll agree with me that item number 1 remain to be unresolved. Yeah. So let us now move to the second item. That is the strategies the department has put in place to ensure that the county roads are in good state. Waziri, you can guide us where the response to that particular statement is.
Thank you, Chair. Part of the strategies that we have laid in ensuring that the county roads are in good state is, first of all, grading and spot graveling using our county machinery, where the departments or the Department of Transport and Infrastructure provide fuel for the equipment. Number 2, another issue that we are part of the strategy is actually ensuring that we open up the new roads using our equipment, that is the dozer. And once a road is a new road is open, it will be specific to a specific program. Maybe a new facility needs to be developed or built within a section that a road network needs a connectivity to that facility. Some other issues is when a new road emerges is when you want to reduce the distance. We have also issues of another part of the strategy is the installation of culverts to enable connectivity and even to reduce the distance coverage. And number 4 is grading and graveling of roads in that is using the TSES funds. Number 5, that is part number E, the department is targeting the ongoing reclassification of roads by the Kenya Roads Board. And for this, Chair, we have done a proposal, and under the upcoming road register of 2024, we will reclassify as county and even be able to move, that is the number of kilometers to around, to be specific, it's around 1036 kilometers that we have actually proposed in the upcoming road register to be reclassified. And that road register, Chair, is that we deferred this gazettement of the road register purposely for us to allow us ventilate some of the issues that were outstanding between the counties and the Kenya Roads Board. And for us, Nandi, we will be able to do 1036. And that is why currently the members of national government, that is our MPs, are able to work on our roads because already there is some green lights, because we have proposed, we have ensured that the ongoing risks, the reclassification process, our roads meet the minimum requirement. Because for a road to move from a class or the level of unclassified to the level of classified, there are minimum parameters that are required. And that is why I have done it personally, even through the Council of Governors, by ensuring that we lobby. And all of us, at the end of this program of that reclassification, all of us will be happy at the end when these projects are implemented. Because what I know is that these has given us, or the national government, a green light to even allocate resources in terms of upgrading to an AC. And you'll find out that if you compare the road register, the previous road register, which, Chair, if you allow me to a little bit explain, is that the reason as to why I deferred the gazettement of the road register 2023, it was because it was using the RICS of 209, which was pre-devolution. And some of the issues that actually were left out is when we discussed part of the issues, internal issues with the Kenya Roads Board, this gave us a leeway to even form the basis as to why we deferred the road register to a further date to allow us the RICS 2024 to be completed, because we felt that the counties that were not within or aligned with the government were being sidelined. And what I can give assurance to this county assembly is that the coming RICS or the coming road register, all of us will smile all the way home, because the number of issues will have been addressed in that road register. And I'm so passionate about that. I will, as through the position that I was given, we have been able to push for resources. And even Mheshimiwa for Nandils can attest that through the office, the COG, we have pushed for a resource of close to 353 million for Nandils town. Through our proposal that we gave out around 200 million, we got around 276 for an upgrade of Mosoriat. The same is coming to, that is Kapsabet, of around 1.1 billion shillings. Initially, it was 600 million, but under our, with a discussion with the leadership, it was moved to 1.1 billion. And for all the sub-counties, we have factored in the upgrade of all our sub-county headquarters. So that is part of the strategies that we are really focusing as a department, so that when these loads move to national government, the honorable members will be able to remain with a lesser burden in ensuring that, and even allocating those resources, it will be prudent for them. Lastly, we have done, the last one is of the same. We have done proposals through the ministry in ensuring that in the coming upgrade, of our road network to an AC, part of the roads that will be factored in will be even the county roads that we have moved to an upper grade. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Chair.
Honorable member from Lesos.
Okay, so let's thank I thank the CECM for also that answer, but I'd like to probably ask him, and by extension the chief officer, what does he understand by the word strategy? According to you, CCM, what is a strategy?
Allow me, Chair, to respond to that. Under roads, it is part of the issues, but when you talk about the strategies that we have laid to improve our road network or to improve the status of our roads, part of the strategy is what I have just stated. And even secondly, as a department also, we even, what I mentioned last week is that the registration process.
Just answer the question. Chair, let him answer the question.
The
What is a
CCM member, please, because we need to move. The honorable member from Olesos has asked you, what do you understand by the term strategy in relation to the roads department?
It is the measures that we are putting in place to improve our road connectivity.
Well,
I'd like to make the following observations regarding this. First of all, I think the CCM would have a little bit of a problem, Chair, in answering this question, because already he does not know the number of kilometers in Olesos. He doesn't know the the length of roads in Nandi Hills. He does not know the status. He has to wait for somebody from Nairobi. And so if he were to make a strategy, it would be difficult, because what you have done, CCM, with all due respect, is to give a list. I have not known that grading is a strategy. Grading cannot be a strategy. Probably it is something that you will do. But honorable members, we all know that the county machinery particularly have had serious challenges to move from Kapsabet to Olesos only. The machine might take 2 days or 3. Breakdowns, punctures, what have you. The staff there will report at 8 o'clock, not 8 o'clock, at around probably 11, 12. And they, at the earliest opportunity, whenever there is a problem, say there is a puncture, they will leave for the rest of the day. To do a puncture, that wheel must be put into a tipper. And then the tipper is brought all the way, the wheel is brought all the way to Kapsabet, and the entire day is gone. And for you to come now and say, I have a strategy to grade, I would have probably thought you could come up with a strategy of how to improve the morale of the staff, how to make it more efficient, how you make your decisions. I would have expected that you could include the work plan. You say it there very well that at the beginning of every financial year, you sit and come up with a work plan. Where is the work plan? I wish you attached, because you did not attach the work plan. I would have hoped that you have a goal and say, out of these so many, we have this objective as Nandi County government regarding roads. And these are the decision-making issues. Like, for instance, there is the 500 liters we've been talking about earlier, about how you divide fuel. So, you see, if we do not have a strategy of using these resources more efficiently, I cannot see now how this list becomes strategies. To me, this is not an answer, Honorable Chair. These are not strategies. These are just some actions.
Honorable Chair.
I'd say now Honorable Talbey, and then just in a minute, please, because we don't have the luxury of time.
Yeah, I'll take a minute, Honorable Chair. Chair, I think we are still in question number 2. And maybe because I am not an expert in roads, I wanted maybe to be taught what it means when they use the term motorable, Mr. Chair. I think in reference to this document, the 3-page document, and I'll be referring to item number 95, 96, 97, 98, and 99. That is on the eye of excavator. I don't know.
Honorable Tarbeya, just to bring up the members to speed, this is a response dated 7th February 2024.
Yeah.
Members, do you have that particular document?
Yeah.
The CCM member, you have a copy of it? Animated from your office, you can...
I think it's a response from the CO.
Yes. Members, for the purposes of these proceedings, we can mark that document as document number 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in the response, one, the excavators being hired, they don't indicate, I don't know if excavators have number plates or so, because I don't understand now the item number 5, 95, 96, 97, 98, and 99. They are all excavators, no number plates. The first one was hired at 3.36 million, and the status is complete and motorable. So I don't know how motorable as an excavator is. So we don't know the number plate. The second excavator was hired at 2.6 million. The status is complete and motorable.
Honorable Tadbay, so that we cannot get lost.
Yeah.
Kindly. I wanted us to be done with the second item on the issue of strategies so that, we can move as a whole. Honorable Matthew Sang, thereafter Honorable Hassan, and Honorable Bitok. And we close on that.
Thank you, Chairman. My concern, Honorable Chair, is to the CCM. I've heard the CCM talk about lessening the burden of the honorable members. Actually, it is not the role of honorable members to grade and do road work. You should have framed it that you are lessening the burden of your department. Because ours is just to do oversight. Oversighting doesn't mean there is a burden. We don't have any burden. Ours is just to, I think that phrase should be withdrawn. And you owe us an apology on that. Secondly, before you address that, is on the strategy, as you've said, to input more road network in the register that we have. According to my scrutiny, I realized that in Kopjoy Ward, as at now, I have a road network of around 92 kilometers. But what is in the register is roughly below 20 kilometers. That tells you that there is a lot that has been left out. So I think in the next register, definitely we'll have a good, though the other challenge is that as much as the push was done, as honorable members also, we ought to be part of it to ensure that we help the department roll. It is easier as the resident number 1 of that ward. I ought to know more than yourself. So we would have a consultative meeting before even forwarding the same list. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Hassan.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. One of the strategies the Waziri put in place was to grading and graveling of roads using the TSS funds. Honorable Speaker, I'm curious on what the scope of the work is with the CES fund and who is responsible to ensuring that the work is done through the CES funds. I'm specifically talking about the Bonjoge-Sokomjinga Road, which is in Kabwareng Ward. Honorable Speaker, the tea grower manager arrived in Kabwareng Ward to grade the road of Bonjoge-Sokomjinga Road. But he started by first talking to the farmers and having a kamkunji with them. And then he did partial grading of about 30 meters, skipped the road, went and did another 10 meters, because he was looking to see where it's bad so that he can do the road. At the end of the day, the 2-kilometer road was done about 50 meters of grading, and they left without the presence of the county engineer or without the presence of anybody else of us. But when the crowd was rowdy, he then called me to say, come to the ground, it's bad. So can the Waziri and your team please just clarify if what was done in the road of Bonjoge-Sokomjinga Road to Kapkeben Road is part of the strategy to ensure that you're saving, I don't know if it's fuel or money or whatever you do, so that we're doing skip grading of the road. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Honorable Bitok.
Thank you, Chair and the Speaker. The CEC and the CEO for roads. I'm very shocked this morning and sympathize with the honorable members representing the ward that our CEC roads does not know his area of jurisdiction, that when you find a principal in a school, he knows all his teachers and he knows the number of students and the class and the whole strategy that he has to know. Chair and CECM for roads. I don't know if you cannot know the number of kilometers of award that you are asked by the honorable member for Lesos. I want to ask about the material that is used in roadworks like Maram, that Raya and the people living in Nandi are being oppressed, that you can find over 5 years, the Maram which has been used in roads, the supplier has not been paid. I don't know if part of this, the money used in fuel, used in paying the contractors are part of the money which are supposed to be paid to the suppliers of Maram, that you find the Raya, the people from bottom up, have not been paid and their students or their works are stand still. Do you know something about this payment of Maram? That is my question. And then you also have to know, this is part of your work, that you should know all the kilometers in the world and even roads name by name that belong to the county and those ones belong to Kenya and Kera. That now, if we cannot know that one, I don't know how the county will run, how this department will run, and your second term in that department as yeah. That is my.
Bakuto. You've heard the presentation of the member from Olesos that could probably, addressing these issues of machine breakdown, the boosting of morale of the staff, and also including the work plans. Could that be part of the strategy that you undertake to, to assist you in ensuring that these roads are in good state? Secondly, the honorable member from Kobujoi has raised an issue that you are lessening the burden on the part of the members. Is that factual, Waziri?
Thank you, Chair. First of all, let me withdraw the word, because actually what I did mean is it will lessen the work in the county. And moving forward, now that we are going into the equitable development way, it will be a less engaging exercise if some of the roads are reclassified to the national trunk roads. Secondly, what Honorable Minor did mention, and it was my ample request when I came to this Honorable House that I be allowed to be with the finance team because some questions or some issues lies solemnly with them. And because at times we might have a discussion and even make some recommendations or directives. But the department that will support us is the finance. On the issue of allowances for the operators, it is a burdening issue for all of us, both for the honorable members of this house, including I and my chief officer. So if finance team could have been here, they would respond to that question because we have budgeted that allocation on allowances for our operators. Because honorable members, to be sincere, you are actually doing a lot. There is a lot of fundraising, there's a lot of issues back at your ward level. But going to an extent of feeding the staff, it's an overburdening issue. And if the leader of majority and even the honorable member for Kipkaren and Kurgung, they can attest that when these operators are around in that place, some of them even I invite them to my rural home for lunch because I understand. But if we cannot have finance team here so that they can respond as to why they are not be able to provide that allowance to these operators.
Honorable Speaker,
Yes,
Chair,
Honorable.
point of order. Could the CCM confirm to this House that indeed he is saying that the Department of Finance has refused to pay? And if so, could he table the evidence? Has he written any letter or request? Has he made a complaint? Has he sat in the CEC of the county and raised these issues?
Back to you, the CCM member.
Honorable Chair, my CEO can confirm here that we have raised that allowance. We raised the first allowance for operators in August. We have done a second request. Now that item is in the IB, the internet, we are waiting for that for it to be paid. So it is part of the issues that when we really, because if we want to get solution to some of these issues, Honorable Chair, is that let us have a conclusive discussion with the finance team so that also for them we can get.
It's okay, Waziri.
Yes.
I know you've responded probably on two limbs of the question as asked by the honorable member. The other aspect was whether you ever sat in cabinet and raised this issue. To whether you have evidential documentary evidence of the same. Yeah, just in a minute.
On top of that, Chair, is it captured in the budget that there is that allowance for them, or it's just a request?
I think you answered that. Is it budgeted for?
And that is why I would want to respond it in this way, because normally, before budget estimates are forwarded to assembly, we discuss that at the cabinet. That is why when I was requesting that can we have these for allowances for our operators, it was just discussed at the cabinet. We have raised those, and that is why when we inform you that it is in the IB, to mean that all the processes have been done within the department. And lastly, on part of the issues that members raised is we have the issue of breakdowns.
Before that, I'm sorry to take you back. Honorable Minor asked whether you have documentary evidence that the Department of Finance has refused to make those payments, and whether you've ever made any complaint anywhere else, just for record purposes.
Chair, we have done. And that is why I will still repeat that an item cannot be processed to the level of an IB without proper documentation. So we have we have documentary evidence, and that is why that allowance is at the IB level.
Proceed, Honorable Yodana.
Lastly, there are some few questions that Honorable Minor asked and some honorable members asked that I have not responded. On the issue of maintenance of the equipment, yes, I agree that we have a challenge in that. And currently, like for example, I can mention that the tires that were supplied for us, especially for Tinderet Ward, all of Tinderet Sub-County, all of them are worn out. For all the equipment that were fitted with tires, we need to refit those tires. But the issue also still lies with the finance because the first bill of the tires that we procured has not been paid.
Point of inquiry, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Honorable Martin Douglas.
Yes, I just want to inquire the CEC because it's been quite some times when you're telling us that the tires are being brought next week. It's now a couple of months. Are you talking about what you've been telling us, or is there a recent replacement of tires that has been made and worn out?
Honorable Chair, allow me to respond to that. You remember when we discussed these issues in Kisumu, all the tires were worn out for all the equipment. What we did is we replaced at least 4 tires for each and every equipment, but currently we require minimum of 3 tires per grader for us to work on the minimum optimal level. So issues of replacement of tires, it is a continuous it's continuous process because wear and tear is on daily basis.
Mr. Chair, I just want a specific answer, Mr. Bosisi, because I've been in communicado with you. And you have always been telling me that the grader in Kapsimatwa is not in good position. We are waiting for the supplier to supply the tire. Has he supplied the tire, or the argument is still the same?
The argument is still the same. He hasn't.
Okay. Yes, please, we need to make progress.
I do realize that we may not have enough time, honestly, but this is the reason why. You see, when the CECM now comes to tell us about what he can do, which is not in the report, we are unable to make some useful progress. Because I wish he could have also highlighted these things and put them as part of the strategies. So right now he is forced to think, yet I know for sure that during this year in question, we took a long time talking about these tires. And to the best of my knowledge, they were never put in that particular year. Because every time it was always the machine does not have tires. Yet, when you look at the report, the other report, which I do not want to come to now because I know we are going to go through that shortly, it looks as if there was a huge budget for tires, and the budget was applied, the tires were supplied, and they were not cheap in the other document number 2. So I find it challenging, Honorable Chair, for us to allow this CECM to continue taking us in cycles. I find it really very difficult. I wish he could take his job seriously, and this House, and the people by extension.
Honorable members, Honorable Trufosa, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have several questions to ask. I don't know whether you will allow me to exhaust everything or I'll come back later.
Honorable Trufosa, and I'm hoping that the question that you're asking is with regard to the response as submitted by the CCM member in respect to the strategies the department has put in place, because I know we still have 4 or 5 other issues.
Okay, so I'll go directly to the one which is being asked by the CEC. If you go to item 73, and this one.
Is it in our document number 2? Because we've said that for the purposes of these proceedings, we mark this document as document number 1.
It is because it is almost the same as which Honorable Kakoni asked.
Yeah, that is why I'm saying, you know, for proper records, I think that is document number 2, so that all of us can be there.
Yeah, I think it is so.
Yeah.
So this one, it is about the hire of creditor. It says that hiring of creditor was done in my ward.
Honorable Chair.
Yes, Honorable Minor.
I do not know whether that issue right now is speaking to the strategies. Maybe if you can guide the issue that is being raised by the honorable member.
Let me just ask that question, because maybe I will not have that time again. This the grading of 2.5, which was paid 2.5 million, and it has been written that it is complete. That road, as I talk, the creator is still on site for it is almost 1 year. And here it is written that it is complete. And the person who did it has been paid 2.5. The work is not seen. It was during El Nino time. So the creator stopped. It could not work due to heavy rain. So I'm wondering that it has been written 100% complete. And the creator is still on site. It has mechanical problem.
Professor, just to clarify, could that be a task that is being undertaken the financial year 2023-2024? Or are you making reference to that particular year, 2022-2023? Because, you know, when you say that the grader currently is on site, are you insinuating that it is an item that appears in the budget lines of 2023-2024?
I think so. It is between
it is 2023-2024.
Yes.
What of 2022-2023? Was it done?
No, let me talk about that one. 2022-2023, we had some breaches, and the culverts were inside, and it was being done by the last regime. So the culverts were brought to site, and the bridges were not done. And by now, the culverts are not there. It has been broken, it has been stolen. So I don't know. Let the CEC clarify.
It's okay, Honorable Member. You've asked the question, and I know probably when we'll be there, he'll be able to respond to that. Kindly.
Thank you.
Yeah, the question is now on record. The very last one, so that we can make a determination whether that particular question statement has been resolved or not, so that we can proceed to the next item, please.
Yes, Chair. I was my area of concerning. I've just gone quickly to see what we budgeted for 2023-2024 as part of the strategy. The roads promise us that the number of kilometers that they would create, it was 600 kilometer. And it also promised that they will travel 150. That was as part the strategy of 2022-2023. Now I wanted to ask, did you achieve the 600 you mentioned in budget and 150 for traveling? According to me, it was, if you say 600 kilometers, which means if you divide by 30 watts, that one it is about 20 kilometer per watt. Did you achieve?
Chair, Honorable members, because we're now bombarding the transport department with so many questions when they've not responded to the earlier questions, and you know, in the midway, they may not be able to answer the questions that were earlier asked.
Chair, if you
If in a position.
if you'll allow me, I think I asked a question, but you couldn't allow me to prosecute, Chair. And it was on the same strategy. One of the strategies changed by CC was the hiring of excavators, and I was relying on the document number 2. If you can see in the document, Chair, the hiring of excavator was done 13 times. However, 3 has been clearly indicated. If I take the members, that's number 48 and 49. The first excavator was hired for Tindred sub-county. The second one was hired in 49 for Aldai sub-county. In number 80, it was done for Nandi sub-county. However, Chair, the remaining 10 times of hiring of excavator is not stipulated where it was, the excavator was doing the work, Chair, and that's what I wanted to ask in terms of strategy, because the rest has just been identified as hiring of excavator with different values, but we don't know where the excavators was doing the work, because they have stipulated only 3 times, Aldai, Tindred, and the other sub-county. That's the question I asked, Chair.
The CCM member, kindly be kind enough to respond to those 3 issues first, and then I'll give you an opportunity, Honorable Sarah.
Kindly, Chair, I haven't responded to some of the issues raised by Honorable
Yes.
So,
just be very direct. Don't be
one,
verbose.
on the issue of TCS Road Fund, what he did mention is it is on the issue of the TCS committee. I have actually informed the CEC in charge of agriculture, because it was an initiative that was done for under the farmers. And that is why I have notified him that for the TCS Roads Committee, they need to work with the area MCA. And that is why for some members of this honorable house, they have discussed with the factories and even actually opted for them to give them fuel and even the factory to purchase maram so that we can give the equipment. So if it is not working on your area, then now it is part of the issues that I raised to the CEC in charge of agriculture, that we need to have a sitting with the TCS Roads Committee so that we can iron out some of those issues like what you have raised. But in some areas, it is working. Secondly, there was an issue that was raised by the honorable member on the issue of supply of maram. And Honorable Speaker, we have, as a department, still have some small pending bills with our providers, especially on the historical one. We have farmers who still owe us, and finance have given us a promise that they will clear, so that part of the issue that was raised by the honorable member, that one will be sorted out. But secondly, we still have the ongoing program under our maram suppliers. Also, that is why when I say that those suppliers needs to be paid so that they can give us and be able to supply us maram. On the question raised by Honorable Tarbey on the number of, that is the chief whip, whether we made a target of 600 kilometers, we have supplied, we have approved here, we did 613. We were not able to reach the target in terms of maraming because of those unpaid maram to the suppliers. Because at times, like what I did mention, if you go to Ward of Ndalat, our excavator has been withheld because of, and the honorable members from Mosop sub-county can attest that it was withheld because of non-payment. So part of the issues that is affecting us in terms of achieving the targets, the set target, is on the issues when we have pending bills in that area.
I think honorable members, he has elaborately discussed that. I want us to make a recommendation so that we can move to those other tangy items. Do you agree with me?
I request, before you move, the next question is that under strategy that he has used through your chair, he said that he has done reclassification of roads to national government. It happens that we discussed with the area MP from our various wards, various sub-counties. And when we shared and they share them, we've seen their work being done. Now the part remains that where are the revenue for the county? So we've seen now on our part whereby the area MP from Aldai sub-county, she's done amazing work for the reclarification of work. No, the remaining part now is still under our part. And the same strategy you're using is that we are on rotational basis using our sub-county machinery. And we found a challenge whereby when you are on rotation, we've not even completed the 10-kilometer road to Honorable Davis Angote, which was way back for last year. How about now the 500 liter for fuel? It will take us another decade to reach there. What are the strategies to improve on this?
I hear you, Honorable Mindy, and I know these issues of strategies will cut across these other items that is still pending. Probably, I know at the closure of this meeting, we may be able to make written recommendations, but as it is right now, that issue, as much as it has been responded, it is not fully satisfactory, and we can, in the interim, say that the same is not fully resolved, so that we can move to the next item. Because
Chairman,
yes.
Chair, for kindly mine on the strategies. I think, Chair, we do not really utilize our resources very well. Since, if you can imagine, if a tire just gets a puncture and it is brought all the way from Aldai, say from my ward, Kobujoy, to Kapsabet for just a puncture to be fixed. You know, the fuel that is used by that lorry to ferry that tire is a lot of money compared to money that should have been used to fix that tire. So on strategy, I request the department to actually reorganize themselves. We should have an expert on fixation of the mechanic. A mechanic should be there in every sub-county, and issues to do with punctures should also be done within the sub-county. That is my input. Thank you.
Allow me, Chair, to respond on those issues that has been raised by the honorable members. Part of the strategies that we are laying in terms of maintenance is that currently,
that is why Waziri, you know, you had all the time to inform this assembly on the strategies that you want to employ as a department. And here you're getting recommendations from the members on what you're supposed to do. Remember that whatever that you want to submit, it is not part of the responses that you provided to this house. Will you be kind enough and just get to borrow some of the recommendations from these members, and thereafter furnish the assembly with, you know, a wider scope on the strategies that you wish to employ.
Noted, Chair, and that is why you interrupted when I wanted to mention. Part of the strategy for all these issues is when we have a meeting with finance, because part of the proposal, even during the framework,
point of honor,
we even would want.
There is a point of order. There is a point of order.
Is he, in order to continue prosecuting that issue, yet you have advised him that let him just listen to what the members are saying, and then he comes up with a strategy later on.
I think in all matters of fairness, Waziri, probably you can take part of the recommendations from the honorable members, and probably when you retire, come up with better strategies, including the ones that you want to submit to this house. Kindly, Honorable Mutual.
For record purposes, I asked a question.
Honorable Mutual, I have given an opportunity to Honorable Mutual, Honorable Tarbe.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Honorable Tarbe, you should be mindful of those who are behind you. Okay, though I came late, but let me put some input also and ask some few questions. So I've seen here the roads that has been done, graded in Kosirai ward. And it is so shameful that you find that a road.
Honorable Mutual. Honorable Mutual, I'm afraid that, you know, when you walked in, we had given some directions on how to proceed. And what was guiding us was the statement as sought by the honorable member from Olesos on 1st August 2023. We are now done with item number 1. And I believe we are at the closure stages of item number 2, so that we can go to item number 3, 4, 5, and I want to believe that your question falls under the other limbs.
So another one was on this strategic plan.
Yes.
So when the machines are in our wards, we have the plan operators. So my question is, when the machine is in somebody's ward, the plant operators are answerable to who? Because any other time, the machine is in the ward, but the operator is answerable to somebody who is not even there, not even to the MCA.
Thank you, Honorable Mutual. And that is the reason that as a committee, we feel like the response as provided by the Department of Roads is not satisfactory. And we've recommended that that particular statement is not resolved. So they have to, go back and probably respond to this house on.
Okay, and
yes.
Another one is the culverts that were done financial year 2022-2020. It was started 2022-2023. Up to now, not completed.
I think that is where we are headed to now.
Yeah,
so, honorable members, let us agree that...
Chair, my question has not been answered. I asked a question on the strategy concerning the hire of excavators, and Chair, in my statement, 13 excavators were...
Could you please respond to that so that we can close on that item, and now we move to item number 3?
Yeah.
And probably, honorable members, we could we merge, item 3, item 4, and item 5, so that at the end of this exercise, we will have,
exhausted. So, Chair, 13 excavators were hired, but 3 were placed. So, the other 10, I wanted to know where they were placed, Chair.
Yeah. Yes, back to the team.
Chair, I think what you did mention was for us discussing the document number 1. And for the document number 2 that honorable members are mentioning, is there was a response by my chief officer on that it was erroneous. And I think the same was resubmitted. So if I would request that we dispense this issue in the document number 1 so that we can move to, so that we can be systematic. Yes.
Are you saying that this document that was
document number 2.
Document number 2.
Yes.
The one dated
so can we have that
February
as a separate discussion on?
Is erroneous.
Can we have that as a separate discussion so that we can complete on this document number 1 and put aside so that we can move to that second one? Kindly.
Members, I think we need to make a resolution on this because the document number 2 that the CCM member is making reference to was addressed to the clerk on 7th February 2024 and was duly received. Are you confirming that document number 2 has nothing to do with document number 1?
Because
or are they related?
The document number 2 in itself is erroneous.
Could Honorable Chair, maybe...
Mr. Chair, just before Honorable Shangu, kindly please allow me. I just wanted to confirm through you, Chair, could the CEO please also tell us whether the document number 2 has been fully paid?
True. It is erroneous.
Erroneous and wrongly before this house. And why he is taking us again in that cycle?
Well, the chief officer, you can have a word on that.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First of all, I'm grateful to be here today. I've understood so much about the statements and everything else, even up to including the first one that I signed, Honorable Speaker. I've come to understand that, some of us, we have technical staff. For example, issues of procurement, we have procurement officers who does on our behalf. Technocrats like engineers, issues to do with engineering, they are the ones who do on our behalf.
Point of order, Honorable Chair. Could the chief officer answer the question? Can he confirm whether this document is properly before the House? As for whether there is any other person, we don't know those people.
Yes, I'm heading there. Honorable
Yes, kindly respond to that so that, we don't have the laxity of time.
And Mr. Speaker, McHugh, it was signed by the same CEO.
Yeah, I signed.
Yes, proceed, please.
And I have confirmed the errors. I was in a hurry. I just signed and I yeah.
Chair, maybe because the CEO has confirmed that there were errors, he can pinpoint the errors for us, maybe in quick fix. Because this house, our honorable house, Mr. Chair, and we have record purposes, so that we can eliminate the errors and deal on the facts.
Chair, we had requested through the department.
The chief officer, I know the honorable members will raise issues with the response that you've just submitted, but from the chair, I just wanted to know whether it is for the first time that you're noting that this document had some errors for the first time today.
Not today, Honorable Speaker.
If that is the case, Bwana Chief Officer, have you made attempts to rectify the default, probably by doing another letter to the same organization that you sent, indicating that you don't place reliance on that particular document because it has some errors?
Yeah, we have made progress, Honorable Speaker. In fact, I'm going round to confirm all these.
The question is, Chief Officer, whether you've done a letter to the organization that you had earlier sent the document, asking them not to place reliance on the earlier document that you had sent to them.
We have done another document, Honorable Speaker. Maybe it's here to reach your office.
Chair, just a quick one, Chair. On the erroneous document, does that mean that what was responded to by the chief officer is not captured in the budget of that particular year? Was there a comparison during the compiling of this response? Did the technical staff, as said by the chief officer, did they compare this presentation vis-a-vis the budget that was there? If yes, then it means this document is accurate.
Chief.
For the issue of budget, Honorable Speaker, the budget is okay, but I realized even the works in progress, it was indicated complete, and yet the works is still in progress. That was the challenge.
Honorable members,
Chair,
we need to make
I had
progress.
requested one question during the other time that when the CEC member had requested under his courtesy that he should bring the whole team whereby we could be having a very consultative and response from the respective person. Now we are being transferred to the person who is unknown. You should have been seated there also. And
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I think we are getting to a quagmire. And Mr. Speaker, I think it is crystal clear that there is a big problem in the Department of Roads. And we have to call a spade, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think even before the CEO signs this document, he has to verify whether is it the true document that has to transit to the next level or no. So we are not here actually to just dilly-dally. I mean, Mr. Speaker, there is a great problem. As we speak, Mr. Speaker, I was at home for the last 2 weeks. The people of Chemelil Chemase chased me away, Mr. Speaker. And we are here joking around, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to say enough is enough, Mr. Speaker. We need to face the bull by the horns. We cannot. This is an honorable house. And I want to ask you, honorable members, we cannot go this way anymore. We cannot do this. We cannot do the same thing the same way and expect different results. Let us be honorable members. Let us do our work the way we are supposed to do. Honorable members. It is shameful, Mr. Speaker. We are on air. Very shameful. Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
May I also say something, Honorable Chair?
Honorable members.
May I also say something? Please kindly allow me, considering that.
Chair, on the way forward.
Just considering that.
Honorable Chair.
Honorable members.
I'm on my
Honorable
Chair.
members. I've given an opportunity to Honorable
Yes.
Isaiah Maina.
Thank
I'll
you.
also give you equal opportunities, kindly.
Yes, I would like to say, so much as we were still doing question number 2, we probably were making a conclusion that this department does not have a strategy and that they should work on it. So we have already embarked on another area. And I would like to highlight to honorable members that there is a bigger problem. Because the answer from the CEC does not marry with this document. He does not even show in this report that those ongoing works were actually contracted in 2022-2023. So when you look at the response from the CEC, and now what the CEO is telling us, they don't marry. So already I had an issue with that, but I thought we would come to it. But because members have already mentioned it, this is a glaring problem. Because I do not believe, even when it comes to hiring of graders and whatever, that the CCM will or the CEO will just decide that I have hired. It must be through a process. You must hire it to a company. So there is nothing like hiring a grader. You give works to a company, if my knowledge serves me right. So there is a problem, a serious one, and for them to come here and tell us that I was in a hurry, which is actually a serious problem, Chief Officer. That's a serious problem. You are telling the people of Nandi that you are in a hurry to sign a fake report, or you've just decided that it is fake right now. So there is a problem, Honorable Chair, regarding these questions. And probably we now require to have a resolution of this House to have an ad hoc committee to dig into these issues and finally give us a proper insight into what is going on in the labyrinth that is the roads department.
Honorable.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, sir. If you look at that response to number 3, it was asked to give us the number of roads per ward tendered, awarded, and implemented, indicating the bill of quantities and the companies awarded. If you look at this document here, number 2, we are calling it document number 2. Let me quote what comes from my ward.
Honorable,
Chapter Y, yes.
honorable member from Chapter Y, I think there is an issue that we've not resolved on the authenticity of this document number 2.
Yes.
Before we now commence making comments.
Okay.
As regard that.
Thank you.
Tarbay, I'm hoping that
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I know we are reaching a dead end in this discussion, and I wanted us to get a way forward. We have stayed with this document, Chair, from February, and we have been relying on this document. Now, if the CEO disowns the letter and say it is erroneous, so we know, Chair, when we were beginning this session, I asked whether we are doing oversight or we are just playing with one another. And Chair, I want us to be serious on this issue, because one way forward, if the CEO has said this document has errors, of which one error has said it is a matter of indicating whether it's complete or not. But I asked, Chair, that we hired 13 graders. The CEO just can confirm whether the error is in terms of figures or the wording, so that we can have a way forward. But if it's about of figures, Mr. Chair, because you cannot indicate that you hired an excavator in 3 million, another one in 2 point something million. So in total, it comes to around 13 excavators. 3 were placed. We just asked a question, where were the rest, the others placed? So if it's an error, the CEO should highlight whether it's in terms of figures or the wording. If it's a matter of wording, we cannot have issues. But this is the chief accounting officer in the Department of Roads. You have signed a document in February. Come today, we are approaching April, you want to disown. So what will we be doing there? I think we need to face the reality. So it's either, and I was shocked, it is the CEC disowning a letter that was written by the CEO. How are the two related? This one is the accounting officer. It was the CEC first who disowned the letter, even before the writer of the letter disowns. No, yeah, I think we need to be serious.
Inquiry, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Honorable Martin Douglas.
Through you, Mr. Chair, it is crystal clear, Mr. Chair. I know we have a list of questions that we are supposed to go through. But, Mr. Chair, if at the onset of the whole thing, and the CEO has actually confirmed that the document we are having is fake, is there any point that we continue asking so many other questions, Mr. Speaker? I would actually wish, Mr. Speaker, through your guidance, Mr. Speaker, let us make a resolution, Mr. Speaker, here, rather than going in circle, Mr. Speaker, and saying so many things. Why can't we make a resolution, Mr. Speaker? Rather than continuing, Mr. Speaker.
I hear you, Honorable Martin Douglas.
Honorable Chair.
Honorable Sang, sorry. Let's be seated. Honorable Sang had...
Speaker, maybe let me reserve, maybe I'll make some comments later as we move to the next thing, because it's not part of the strategy that you are saying. Maybe I had a question on other part 3 and part 4. So in terms of strategy, and I also request members that let us also deal with this thing in soberness. We cannot be just using very unparliamentary language. This is being watched there. We can also say everything, but let us also deal with this with soberness, because we want the service delivered in our county. And if we can push ourselves so that we can be doing this.
Point of order, Honorable Chair.
Yes, Honorable.
Let us also.
Is the Honorable Deputy Speaker.
Honorable Sang, you may remain seated. He has raised a point of order.
You are giving me an opportunity, Honorable Speaker.
Point of order. Point of order.
Understanding what about the Speaker.
Point of
Honorable
order.
Sang, we are in a committee of general oversight.
Is a member from Chepkumia in order to impute an improper motive on the members by claiming that they are not probably sober? You know, and it is a bit dangerous considering that alcohol has been something that is being discussed right now. Is he suggesting that we are not sober? And if there is any language that has been used, could he be clear and say it is this one?
Thank you. Sang. It is obvious, Honorable Speaker, I withdraw that one of the soberness, but I say let us use the parliamentary language. The use of fact, the use of the use of language, not the use of soberness. Maybe that was the wrong
information, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Martin Douglas.
Honorable Speaker, I've been
Honorable
quiet,
Sang.
And we are waiting Palala to be talking every now and then.
Honorable Sang. Honorable Sang.
If you can go to the office, if you are not in order.
Honorable Sang.
No, Mr.
Honorable Sang, have your seat, please. Honorable Martin Douglas.
Mr. Speaker, what is agitating the honorable member from Chepkumia, who is our able deputy speaker? I mean, unless he's got some intentions, Mr. Speaker. You see, but here, Mr. Speaker, we are talking on issues, pertinent issues, Mr. Speaker, that is affecting the road department, and the CEO has confirmed, Mr. Speaker, that the document is erroneous. Is it a problem when I say it's fake? It is fake, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Sang,
Honorable Speaker, let me rest this case by saying this, that members, I never say that I have no interest. I'm also a member of the County Assembly. And by the way, this document was meant in 2022-2023, whereby we are discussing the budget that was placed in their other financial year. Some of the times we see, many times they were saying, Chepkumia.
Point of order, Chair.
No.
Chair. Point of order. Is the easy?
Honorable.
Point of order, Chair. Point of order, Chair.
Honorable
Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Tarbe remain seated.
Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Tarbe remain seated.
You are not the floor.
Honorable Tarbe.
No. Honorable Speaker. No, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members. Honorable members. Honorable Sang remain seated.
Unless the honorable member is confirming that he's a beneficiary to this document.
Honorable Martin Douglas. Honorable Martin Douglas. Honorable Chelule, remain seated. Honorable members, this is a house of honor. And remember that you are colleagues. You are colleagues. And each of you will have his or her time to make his submission with matters that are beforehand. I'll plead with the members of this house. Honorable Sang had used the term sober, but for me, I'll say let us handle these matters with calmness. When one member is on his feet, unless there is a point of order, we can let the member finish submitting, please, so that we can be on the same page. Honorable Sang, you were saying something. Please, in a minute, you wind up.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker. I was saying, let me make some comments, maybe immediately after we have the other one, because in the terms of strategy, let us wait for the term that will also, I have also a number of issues to ask him. And when we say declaration of interest, because that time, that's why you see most of the projects are in Jepkumia. Because I was a great benefit, that is the truth of the matter. So because that was the time that was there, Honorable Speaker, is that at times I can confess that what was budgeted and was placed in Jepkumia, it is done. That is why I can also lie to this house.
It is okay, Honorable Sang, we hear you.
I need to say, because when you see Honorable Speaker, the bogus culvert in Jepkumia,
we hear you on that.
That was the time I took the opportunity to have that.
Honorable Sang, we hear you on that. But I know, Honorable members, the issue is that on our desk was as regard the authenticity of this document dated 7th February 2024, because we needed to resolve on that so that we could be able to progress. And therefore, Honorable Isaiah Minor, you had asked me to rule that Honorable Sang is out of order by indicating to this house that probably members are not sober. And Honorable Sang, you out of order on that. And in that particular respect, Honorable Sang, you need to withdraw that and apologize to the members of this Honorable House.
Honorable Speaker, I had to apologize that I used a very wrong term, but I was referring to Balala, not to Honorable House. I was reversing him, because not all members were talking about, it was only Balala.
Maintaining that Honorable
but maybe
Martin,
the language that I used, I apologize. Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you. I think we out of that. So back to you, Chief Officer. I had asked you whether, or rather, when did you get to know that you signed this document in hurry and it is erroneous, so that we can move forward, please.
Honorable Speaker, thank you.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker. I would like to know, point of order, just why is it, maybe your guidance, why is it that the witnesses were not sworn in? Or they were not required to take an oath?
Well,
maybe they should do that so that when they are saying these things, we can use them against them.
It is okay. I get your proposal. Kindly answer that.
Okay, Honorable Chair, there was only a small error. There is some few projects which are still in progress, and it was written here complete.
Could you be able to highlight those particular issues so that probably we can make reliance on the other aspects of that document with your confirmation, so that we can be able to move?
Like the Kiptoros Bridge in Gosrai Ward.
Which number, please? Which number, please?
It's still ongoing. 56.
Which number?
Number 56.
Number 56.
Yeah.
I want you to flag off those particular items that you feel it should not form part of this document. Maybe, and confirm to the House that they can now place reliance on the other aspects of the document.
Maybe, Honorable Speaker, you can give me some, maybe by tomorrow I give you the complete.
Honorable Chair, kindly. I think, Honorable Chair, before we started this, you had asked that we document this as document number 1, document number 2. Before this erroneous thing came in, I think, Honorable Chief Officer, you are once upon a member of this assembly. Before that, you could have asked that this one should be stopped or withdrawn. So with due respect, kindly accord us respect to this assembly. Thank you.
But, Honorable Chair, before we even consider that, I'm looking at that number 46, and it is talking about a bridge.
56.
56. And it says that it is operational, complete. The Honorable Chair from, the Honorable Member from Kosirai and Chemundu, who says that Kiptoros is in his word, can attest that works have not even started. The question is, this sounds like an error which is a bit dangerous, because who did it? Who would go to the ground, find that there is no bridge done, and then comes to this house, takes his time, and writes that it is complete? And now for him to come here and say there is an error, I think, Honorable Chair, honestly speaking, we must begin to take this house seriously. We cannot allow that. We cannot even allow him, we cannot entertain such an answer. There is even a process, as the Honorable Member has said, of withdrawing. But then even before you withdraw this evidence, which officer, who did this? Who did it?
CC, will you be able to respond to that, or it's your counterpart?
Honorable Chair, before my chief officer responds to that, I would want to make an humble request. So all of us, because if we, as early requested that, if it is possible, can we dispense of the first document so that we can focus on the second one, please, if possible?
Honorable Chair, it's not possible to do that because these two documents, and that's why considering that members have prosecuted these two documents, we cannot separate them because they speak to the same year. And even the CECM should explain to this House how it is that the works he has indicated in his response to the House is rather brief. Yet, whatever has been signed by the chief officer is very long. And it is for the same year. Why the discrepancy? Why is it that there is so much that is captured under Nandi Hills and what have you in the second document, document number 2? But document number 1, you chose not to indicate. Why is it that the two of them should be together? Why the discrepancy? So, Honorable Chair, I beg that we shouldn't separate these two documents.
Point of inquiry, Chair.
Yes.
Is the CEC disowning his own chief officer when he say we should abandon the document by the CEO? Is he disowning, for the record of this House, Mr. Chair, is he disowning his chief officer? I think for clarity, because you come as a duo, the CEO and the CEC, both of you with documents, then the CEC saying we leave out the document by the CEO. Is he disowning? Because remember when he came first the other time, he shifted the blame to the finance. Now he's with the CEO of his department, and he's saying let's deal with my document and leave out the document by this. Is he confirming to this House that he's now disowning the CEO of his department, Mr. Chair?
Chair, I am not disowning my chief officer. What I only requested is that for systematic flow of response to this honorable House, can we, if
point
possible,
of information, Chair, is I think it is the Chair to guide the direction of this meeting and not the CEO, the CEC.
Yes, I agree with you, the honorable member. Probably he was. The question is, are you disowning your chief officer?
I am not.
And just to ask, because I'm also curious about this document, whether, you know, before the chief officer had an opportunity to say that he was in a hurry while signing this document, had he informed you that the document is erroneous, or has he informed you that this particular document was erroneous?
Yes, he did, because this is a document that was submitted to this honorable house, and later, when there were some issues, that is now, he did inform me that it was erroneous, and even that is why I'm requesting that.
Well, if you confirm that he had indicated that the document is erroneous, what steps did you take?
Mr. Speaker,
Let him respond to that.
of course,
please.
we are not here to talk about he told me. We are here with, this is a house of rule with proofs and evidence.
And that is why,
Yes.
and that is why I was able to ask the chief officer whether he did a communication to the county assembly that don't place reliance on the earlier document. Yes.
What did he answer?
He did inform me about the erroneous information. I instructed them to make those corrections and resubmit it again.
Speaker, I think, Mr. Speaker, with your permission, this one, Mr. Speaker, this is a document of the assembly now. This is a leakage already to this assembly. And from these documents, the two documents with the disparity they've got, Mr. Speaker, it is an indication, Mr. Speaker, there is more than meets the eye, Mr. Speaker, in this document. And Mr. Speaker, by allowing it actually
Honorable
to separate-
members, I need now to get the House. The CCM member, you had made a request that we expunge this particular document from today's proceedings. I'm afraid you heard what the members are saying, that this is now a document that belongs to the county assembly, and therefore it is not possible that we cannot rely on this particular document, and more so in the absence of a contrary statement, or rather a contrary document indicating that don't place reliance on that. Therefore, this committee is going to place reliance on this particular document, and we're going to delve into this document simultaneously as we proceed with these proceedings. So, honorable members, on the second item, we making...
With your direction, Chair, for the record of this House, now that we have said we are relying on this document, can the CEO and the CEC confirm that they had 13 excavators?
Well, we are coming there.
Yeah.
We are coming there. And now that Honorable Tarbey, you had indicated that that particular question was falling under limb number 3, I want to direct that the same can be dealt with under limb number 3, and it will be the first question to be answered. So, honorable members, on item number 2, it is a resolution of this House that the same is partially resolved on the strategies. And for the purposes of making progress, let us now merge item number 3, item number 4, and item number 5, because we have 30 minutes to conclude on that.
Probably before you move from that particular subject, Honorable Chair, because I believe it is the thing that can help us. See, if you have a strategy, which is a plan, you can resolve the issues. So I think we should not let them go with just a slap in the wrist. There should be a recommendation of this House, a resolution of this committee.
We will be doing written recommendations.
I'm just
to the
putting
team.
it for record.
Yes.
That they should take their work seriously and take us seriously as well. And if they have not gone for strategic management or other management courses, could they do that? So that they can help.
Thank you, Honorable Isaiah Minor. So the first issue is raised by the Honorable Member from Nandi, Honorable Tarbey, thereafter Honorable Chelule.
Speaker, I would like also to... in addition of the question of Tarbay,
You'll get an opportunity.
It's the same question with Tarbay. On the hire of equipment, there is this 6 million on the...
Honorable Chelule, just freeze, please.
On the hire of equipment, it is on matching with the one for Tarbay.
Honorable Chelule, your colleague is on his feet, kindly freeze.
When you will be responding on the questions of the hire of equipments, we have seen also on the first item, we have been given 36,535,144 for the whole county. And this is a huge amount, which would be also, should be clarified matching on the same hire of equipment. So I think also when you will be writing on that, let him answer that. Oh, thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, you can respond to that, please.
Thank you, Chair. As earlier requested, on the clarification, a complete document will be submitted kindly. If the number of, for example, what Honorable Tarbay did mention, that is an erroneous document that I insisted that it is erroneous, please, kindly.
The CCM member, we've
So
already made a determination. Probably you could be kind enough and just tell this committee that this is the position as regards this particular item, rather than making references that this document is erroneous.
The hire of 13 excavators is not true.
So, Chair, how many excavators were hired according to the CEC? For record of this house, if 13 were not, maybe if you can ask with a yes or no answer, maybe we will assist the CEC. Allow me, Chair, that now we are relying on this document. That is item number 48. A hire of grader, 14 rate sub-county at 2,640,000. Was that grader hired or not? I think on this document, document number 2. Let's go to item number 48. Hire of excavator. 10 rate sub-county, 2,640,000. Was that grader hired or not?
For specific word that you mentioned, we had some hired graders.
Excavator, it's an excavator.
That was supplementary to some works within the entire county. And also even the excavators.
Excavator.
Just remain seated.
The hire of excavator.
His question is very specific that in item number 48, the hire of excavator, that is in Tinderet sub-county, is asking whether the same was hired or not.
It was. That particular period.
Thank you. Item number 49. Hire of excavator, Aldai sub-county at 3,300,000. That's for Aldai sub-county. Was it hired or not?
I'm saying we hired some excavators, but I need to, like, what was submitted here is in totality, some of them erroneous, but we had hired a grader for Aldai sub-county. We had an hired grader for Tinderet to supplement some works. And even
was it so that we don't make so much mistakes?
Yes.
We have the aspect of excavator and the grader.
Yes.
And his question was directed to excavator and not the grader. Kindly.
It was. Yes.
Thank you. I think we are progressing well, Mr. Honorable Chair. Item number 63. Hire of excavator 3.3. That is point number 63. Was it hired, the excavator? Was it hired or not? Item number 63. On the second document, I think the CEO has the document. Document number 2, the one we are relying on.
Chair, what I have requested is full information on this will be provided for those specific, because if you need a blanket information of, we'll give you specific areas that those equipments were utilized.
Chair, the blanket information, I think the department themselves gave us this document. So in my accounting, I think, and it is different figures. If you go to item number 66, an excavator was hired at 2.64, 2,640,000. Item number 69, an excavator was hired at 1.320.
And
another
Chair,
excavator was hired in 71 with 3.3. Another one, Chair, was hired at in item number 90.
Order, Chair.
So we needed that clarification.
Let the honorable member wind up, please. Yeah, please. Yes, you are done. The CCM member, please kindly respond to those issues that.
Kindly, Chair, as earlier indicated, during budget making process, you find that there are some works that progressively move from one financial year to the next financial year under work in progress. At times, some other works move into the next financial year under pending bills. That is why when I sought clarification that allow me, because part of the information that were given here by our technical team is when these items were paid. And when an item is being paid for, and that is why the honorable member can attest that what we are raising here or discussing here is subsequent years. Because
the
when
CCM
this...
member,
Yes.
the CCM member,
Yes.
kindly please. You know, the year in question is the financial year 2022-2023. And it is not that this statement was sought the other day. This statement was sought on 1st August 2023. And if you plead with this committee to give you more time, that you've taken more than 6 months to respond, are we really doing justice to the electorates when we are unable to respond to some of these things?
We are not, or I am not intending or raising that or trying to cover up anything. And that is why initially when I was, when I attended lastly this on to a committee on this house on the raised issues, I was actually specific on some areas. And when you introduce this other document that now it was initially, and the corrected response will be forwarded to this honorable house on specific items. And that is why when I request that Chair, kindly on those areas, there is nothing fishy about this. We will submit this, including the budget lines, the items that were paid for this specific erroneous item. But for the other information, Chair.
Honorable members, I want us to make progress.
Chairman, order. Kindly, Chairman, for us to progress, I'm not seeing any progress if we go back and forth on the same issue that the CCM member and the chief officer feel that maybe they are not capable to handle. My request is this: why don't we progress with the same issues that they are able to handle?
Well,
and we recommend that they were not able to handle the other one.
It is okay, honorable members, and probably we can have a supplementary document to this. We can resolve that. Let us have a supplement to this particular document that they've already favored this house. And as you make that, the team from transport, there was someone who raised an issue about item number 1, the hire and lease of equipment. Probably you could be kind enough to, just explain to the house whether excavators is not part of equipment, so that we can be able to discern. When you talk of equipment, what is it? Is equipment, is a grader not part of equipment? So that I think when you'll be favoring this house with a supplementary document, we can be able to understand.
Maybe just as a follow-up, Honorable Chair, you see, when my question was on contracted things that were contracted, whatever they are doing in the department. So The CCM, and I believe he's not working alone. He must have been working with the CEO. So they knew these two documents. They knew what they answered in the first. They also knew what they answered in the second. Now the issue is, Honorable Chair, if we were to continue having the conversation, and yet it looks like the two officers are not really forthright. And they want to invite us to rely on word of mouth. And that's why I would like to suggest, Honorable Chair, that we cannot make progress. It doesn't matter how much. We must just release them and then make a resolution as the House on what we would like to do. Because otherwise we will go in cycles. If we were to say, talk about my questions, the CCM will be inviting us to say, let's be blind to Kiptoro, the others, yet they were in the same year. And I'm not willing to do that. We must be alive to everything. I thought he was going to give us every detail. But he chose not to, Honorable Chair. And as originator of this, I feel that we cannot have justice if we were to try even to make any progress right now, where we are. So I beg you, and I beg the honorable members, that we first of all recluse the two officers, and then we make our own recommendations on the way forward.
Honorable Tololei, we are winding up, please. In less than 10 minutes, we should be.
Before we do that, Honorable Shangu, let me confirm my fears. If you look at item number 55, it is written Kapkoimuru, Kapkenyeloi Road. You are not even sure what was done there. Kapkoimuru, Kapkenyeloi Road. That road exists. It has a cost of 3.445, 609 shillings. It is written there 100% complete. Complete and operational. That road is not done. My fear is, before we write complete and operational, the contractor might have been paid, so that when these people go back, I am not going to get that road, because it is possible the contractor have been paid even before the work has not been done. That road is not done, but in papers it is written complete and operational. So my fear is, Bwana CEC, please tell me, is this road paid? Is this contractor paid?
Chair, allow me to respond to that. And in my written submission, and under the tendered works, financial year 22-23, which I did submit, and part of that one, the initial document that I mentioned, the document number 2, it was erroneous, and that is why, for the second document, it is one. I want to confirm to the honorable member that that is a construction of Kimngoror Road. It was changed to Ngoroi, that is Ngoroin Road, because initially Kera allocated funds to that one. It was part of the works that we retendered last month.
I think
and the contractor,
the CECM, you've already responded
yes,
to that.
It has not been paid. It has not been done. So, because Kera didn't share their work plans with our department, they were able to prioritize that road. Currently, it was maintained by the Kera, and that is why the road was changed to Kimngoror Ngoroin Road, which was tendered recently with other works that were given.
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, yes, Honorable Martin Douglas.
I just want, Mr. Speaker, because we are going in circles, Mr. Speaker. Kindly, with your permission, Mr. Speaker, we have these documents here, so that we know that this document is erroneous or is not working the way it's been said by the Honorable, by our head of departments. Kindly, with your permission, Mr. Speaker, can you please allow some of few members here to go to the COB, bring a payment voucher so that we can confirm with this document so that we can know the payment voucher vis-a-vis the work that was done, Mr. Speaker, because we cannot.
Honorable members are here, all of us, and just like we said at the onset of this meeting that we don't have the luxury of time, you note that we've been unable to delve into, the issues as raised by the honorable member from Olesos vis-a-vis the responses submitted by the Department of Transport and Infrastructure. And honorable members, I think we can have this meeting adjourned to a later date. And I'm also granting leave to the Department of Transport and Infrastructure to avail any other document that they wish to rely on before that particular meeting. And it is also a directive of this committee that you appear with the technical staff that you'll also wish to help you in responding to these issues. And because we know time is of essence, we can have all the documents that you wish to file to this assembly latest by 21st March this year. What is it, Honorable?
May I beg your indulgence, Honorable Speaker,
Yes.
Honorable Chair? You see, we have given so much latitude to this department. They have sought time and time again. What I do not wish for us to indulge in, particularly following up on what Honorable Tololea said, is a situation where we have documents being doctored left, right, and center. That now they are coming here to sound out where our questions are, and then they will proceed to give us what they think we want.
Honorable Maina.
Okay.
Honorable Maina, this is a committee on general oversight. It is a very competent committee, and at the closure of this, we'll be able to make resolutions and recommendations, and your fears probably will be addressed. Before we wind up, Honorable Chelule, you had something?
I just want to comment on the issues, irregularities that I have seen in this document. One cannot convince me that a road in Songo, which starts from Songo, traverses my ward to Maraba, and traverses Tindiret ward to Timboroa, which is in Wasigishu County, is 0.23 kilometers. How much has been spent on that road? It's saying 0.23 kilometers, starting from Songo, going to Maraba, which is Tindiret sub-county headquarters, and then traverses the whole of Tindiret ward to Timboroa. Everybody knows where Timboroa is. Sawa. And it is 0.23 kilometers. It is stated like that. So, in my opinion, these documents are fake and should be rejected in totality. That's all I can say.
Well, I think I've guided the House on what we need to do. You've had those recommendations. You will have them in writing. Kindly, let's file those documents latest Thursday, 21st March 2024. Thereafter, you will get a communication from this committee on the way forward on how to proceed with the matters at hand. So, honorable members, I think I think that is the position.
I, Honorable Gideon Gogo, do propose for adjournment.
Before, Chairman, I was requesting if the same department, if we are yet to have another discussion, I would suggest that they come up with a strategy that they've put in place to ensure that things work in the same department. Thank you.
Honorable Matthew, thank you for that. Like I've indicated that we've been unable to resolve on much of these issues, and the directions as of now is for the said department to file their documents by 21st March. Thereafter, as a house, we'll be able to communicate the resolutions of this committee.
Thank you, Chair.
Yeah. So, Honorable Gideon Kogo has proposed for adjournment of this sitting.
I, Martin Douglas, second.
So, honorable members, the Committee on General Oversight is adjourned until such a date and time to be communicated. So, you are free to leave.